Welcome to another episode of The Power of Choosing.
Today, we're going to talk about change. Change can be scary. It can be exciting. It can bring about a lot of feelings. And what we want to talk about is how on the other side of the big change is the life that you really want, you really deserve, a life that you'll love, that'll bring you joy. And I think what stops people is this idea of change and all the feelings associated with it.
Well, it's also the unknown in a way.
Mm.
If you're watching, have seen my background change, and that's because I moved from one state to another state. And so I knew that there was going to be change. I was openly walking into the fact that there was going to be change. And now that I'm here in the secondary place, I'm not far along on the journey. I've settled in the sense that massive things are put into place within the house, but what's not put into place is all of my emotions, all of the other trickling things that happen with a massive change like that. And so I'm also waiting for my emotions to catch up and to essentially them to settle, and they haven't yet. And so I've been very stressed lately, in all truth.
Yeah, which makes sense.
And
do you
it's
wanna tell us-
scary.
And yeah, it is scary. Do you want to tell us more about what's going on for you?
Sure. I am now waiting for my house where I used to live to sell, and it hasn't. And in all truth, that's a part of the process. Like, I knew there would be a lag time, and my expectation of that lag time was it was just going to go super easy and it was going to flow to the point of like everything was great. And in the process of waiting for that to happen, I've been having a lot of things happen here, whether it be like different things on this house that needed to be addressed immediately. I have a list of things I'm waiting on to address as soon as that house sells. There's a lot of moving parts, and it's a lot, and it's super incredibly stressful, and really trying to breathe through the whole process and get to a place of like, it's going to be okay. Yes, I know that overall, but I'm in it, and it's really hard being in it because where I know it will get to, I'm not quite there yet. So that's where I'm kind of talking about like those emotions catching up, because I've landed and I'm still waiting for more to unfold. And so it's super scary, it's super stressful, it's super exhausting, and having to utilizing all of the tools that I have, trying to work and move through all of that to be able to breathe and settle in, and to do the best that I can in the interim. There's change from here to there, and I'm in the interim.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for sharing. And I think what's relevant here is that us trying to pick the name for this topic, because
Right.
we were going through like change doesn't have to be scary and things on that line. And actually, we don't want to say that change is easy and you can push through it and everything's fine, because there's going to be things about change that are hard, that are stressful, that are scary, and that doesn't have to stop you. So when you're in it, it feels stressful, and it can be that, oh, was I better off before? And actually, this is what you have to walk through in order to get to the place you want, to be the person that you want to be. Change is always going to bring emotions and scariness. And I think that's just hit me with my house move. So when it was this distant, we want to move house, like big dreams about what it looks like and how it's going to be to live there, and the feel, and like have this garden with the kids. It's all wonderful. And then the more and more like closer it gets to being an actual like thing that's going to happen, the more I start to think about what I'm losing with the change.
Mm.
It's such a lovely neighborhood, and there's feelings like I'm never going to get that anywhere else. I'm running out of like milk or eggs or something that I need. And there's several people I can just knock on their door and they'll happily give that to me. And I'm the same. We share things, and it's just this really lovely neighborhood place. So with this change that's going to bring about so much good is going to be this grief, this mourning of what I no longer have. And that is change. So it's
Hmm.
not all this, oh, it's going to be easy because you're going to get everything you want. It's going to be what you want in the long run. And there's going to be things that are hard and scary and sad.
Hmm.
And it's okay to have all of it.
I think it's fascinating to me that you and I are two women in two different countries going through this thing independently of one another, but also very similar. And yeah, as you were speaking of like what what you currently have and like that's going to be gone, what I'm currently going through now is that I'm like, oh, I miss those things from where I used to live and I haven't established the new of what's really great here yet. So that was a really good reflection for me to be able to see it because it is really yeah, it's just so fascinating because there are really great things where I lived, and there are really great things here where I am currently. I just have not found them, created them, like had the experience to explore that yet because I'm still in the interim of the shift, of the change, and of the move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think another thing that happens when you're in a big life change or a big discovery, whatever it is lots of people have opinions. So you can feel like you're in one place and then somebody comes along, and especially with the house move, it's like, oh, that's really stressful, isn't it? And and then like you can almost be like, yeah, it is, isn't it? And I guess because I've had my coaching, I can step back and be like, actually, it's not that stressful for me. It's hard work having to get the house tidy enough for viewings because I don't live like that. And most people that know me know I don't live in a perfectly showy home house. And it's quite nice to have a tidy house for a few days. I might get used to it. People want to put their perspective on it. They're just wanting to connect to you as a human. And you can easily get swayed into this. It's hard, it's worse than it is because you can get swayed by other people.
Where I used to live, the climate was a little bit different versus where it is where I currently am. So it's colder here than it was where I used to live. So I have noticed people speaking up, oh, I warned you how this is bad, as if that is everything for us to live here. Like that's just one piece. It's not all of the pieces. Yes, it might be colder, but there's other things that are really attractive about living here that we're actually getting by being here, but
Mm-hmm.
that judgment is just like, oh, it's so perfect here. And it's discounting all of the things that aren't perfect about it. So when I hear other people's opinions, it has me having to sit with that. And I need to really be able to take a look at is that a factor of how I want to view my surroundings? So it's not necessarily what they said, even though it does at times feel like it's a hit, it's a slight on me. It's more I have to like, what is it about what that person said that's coming up for me? And former friends of mine had gone to my area or the old place that I was living. And it was really interesting because a lot of feelings came up for me. Did I make the wrong move by moving here? It's all interesting. It's all a space for me to like really play with. I'm human living in the motion. And it was part of my process as I'm in this interim of not being there, being here, but not being fully situated. I couldn't have predicted this. Change is hard in the sense that I didn't know these feelings would come up. And it's not about other people, it's about me and me being comfortable or me being solid in my decision of this is the right move for me. I think that's a part of the process with change is it's not just this easy flow of A to B. There's a lot that goes on. So it's the settling of the emotions that I'm still in the process of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense because there is, as we said, there's going to be all this emotion that comes with change. And I think it's the fear of all of that that can stop you from changing. But then actually what's on the other side is what you want. So it's how do I navigate that bit in the middle? And then this is where the power of choosing comes in, because
Mm-hmm.
you have a choice of how you get to show up in this space, how you get to let all the feelings just be, not try and rush through them, and also not let them take over. So then you don't get to go to the place where you want to be. And
Absolutely.
we have the choice in all of that. I've got this friend and she has just moved house, and she is the kind of person that sort of puts a negative spin on things first. I don't know if it's like a protection thing, but it's like, oh, well, yeah, it's not in the best area. Or, well, yeah, this is wrong with it. And she's actually really proud of the fact she's got this house and it's amazing and it looks so nice. So I'm there to tell her how great it is. And it's just what her brain automatically does
Mm-hmm.
is like this safety. I don't know if it's what if this other person, what's the other person going to think? Or it's not 100% what I want. So I can't let myself be fully happy. And that's the choice of like, am I leaning into seeing all the goodness in this process, or am I leaning into seeing where I'm falling short and where I haven't made it or haven't got what I want yet? And then that's going to be the difference of how happy or satisfied you are in where you are in that moment.
Well, even as you're sharing that, what came up for me, and I've gone through different forms of changes multiple times. I'm sure everyone has, I'm sure you have, but what really spoke to me was the fact of when we're in it, we don't really pause to reflect when we're in it. We reflect when we're like past it, when it's really settled. And it's like, oh, that was a really good move. But when we're in it, we don't have a lot of space. There's this need to rush things. I'm personally guilty of it, but there is this need to rush it. And so settling is really hard. The friend moving, and she is doing what it sounds like to me, that safeguard of like, let me, in a way, insult it before others do, so that if someone were to insult it, I would be prepared for that, but not that we're prepared for it, because then it hurts still too. When we're in the, I'm going to call it the limbo place, when we're in the limbo, yes, we're exactly where we're meant to be, but when it doesn't feel like we're exactly where we're meant to be, there's a lot of almost like reaching for something. I'm picturing like just trying to climb up a wall and can't quite get there. There's just that messiness that is happening in that space, and we can't, I guess that's why I keep going back to settle. It's like that look for that settle.
Yeah, I think something that has just come up for me that I hadn't thought of before is this judgment involved in changing, because
Yes.
you're openly saying, I don't want to be where I am and I want to be somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're openly saying, I deserve more. I don't like where I am now. I want something different because I deserve it, or whatever it is. And that's a bold step. And other people are going to have an opinion. And other people that know you are going to be watching to see if you fail, to see if you succeed, to see how it goes. And our brain tends to go to the negative. So we're all here assuming, like, oh, what if it fails and everyone's there to think I'm a failure,
Mm-hmm.
which 99% of the time isn't the case, because your friends and the people around you want to see you succeed. But we have this like, oh, I've got it all together at all times. Well, I know I do.
Well, as you were sharing that, do you guys have something where you give 2 weeks notice there? Is that like the same? I know here in the States, we give 2 weeks notice when we're leaving a job. Do you guys do that in England?
I think like a month,
Oh, you give
but
a month? Okay.
yeah.
So it's like people who are giving notice of leaving a job give this notice. And I'm sure you did. You gave that month notice. I gave the 2 week notice. But then now you're treated differently because you're not a part of this core group of people that had this vision together. And I remember it distinctly because I was leaving to go travel. And so it was just this really interesting place where I was no longer a part of the team and I was forcing a change by leaving the role that I had to go do something different. And it just was this, in a way, awkwardness because I wasn't a part of the big vision and big goal.
And also thinking back to when I did give him my notice, everybody has an opinion about it.
Yes, yes.
So most people wanted to tell me that I was making a mistake because I was in this job in sales where I was doing really well in a place where I was liked by everyone. And they couldn't understand why I wouldn't stay in there because I had a good thing going. I was making money. It was easy. It was somewhere where I fit.
Hmm.
And I was going to travel as well, funnily enough, and then also do life coaching. And then that wasn't like a neat little, I'm going to get a job somewhere else. It was I'm going to set up my own business and I don't know how it's going to look. And everyone's like, oh, wait, what? Firstly, you're going to all these scary countries. Are you sure? And then
Yes.
other people want to put their worry on you, like, and can they care about you? So that makes sense. And I'm going to go into the unknown of, will it be a success? Will it not? And everyone had opinions. And
Mhm.
it was up to me, on top of the, well, it's scary because I'm changing and I'm going to miss everyone, blah, blah, blah. I had this, well, people are telling me it's a stupid idea and I should just stay where I am because I've got it good. And all the extra people's negative, I say negative, but like worried, protective voices on top of that makes change even harder.
Hmm. Hmm. And it's interesting because a lot of people, when you leave a job, and they do care about you, I'm not questioning that, but there's this fear, like you didn't have a very structured to them. Not saying anything for you,
It
but
wasn't at all structured.
oh, that's fair. But the point being is like people put themselves in your shoes without you asking them to, being the key factor, is they put themselves in your shoes and you haven't asked them. So then they then pass all their worries if they were to do what you do. And so it is this thing of trying to manage your own feelings while other people give their input that usually isn't helpful. And it's not malicious. There's nothing with ill intent. It's just they're seeing it from their point of view. And so change is hard in some instances, but it's also exciting. It's also freeing. It's also all of these other things, but there's a lot of emotions at play in
Mm-hmm.
change. And
Yeah.
also, there's no rule book of changes. And that's what is like where fear comes in for other people or their projections is that like unknown, I think was the word that you used that I'm like, oh, that's a big piece of like the change is there's an unknown. There are certain things that are known. Like when I moved here, there were certain things known to me, but there were so many things unknown, which is where I'm sitting currently of the unknowns that are like sprinkling in and being like, hey, popping up. And so it's uncomfortable in those places.
Yeah, because understandably, we like the safety of knowing what's going to happen. And in change, you can't really know everything that's going to happen. So a lot of people won't change, especially if their life's okay. I think change is forced on you if you go through a big burnout or something dramatic happens.
Right.
That forces you to change. And then a lot of the time, people are like, oh, I am so much stronger than I thought I was. I can handle this so much better than I imagined because we have this disaster complex that makes things seem worse. So if your life's okay, it's like, do I want to rock the boat?
Right.
Because what if it gets worse? And that's, I think, one of the main things that stop people from changing. Life's okay and it could be terrible. And then my response would be, but what if it is amazing and you get everything you've ever wanted?
Hmm.
And that's the reason and the why I think people should go for it.
Yes, a lot of people don't make changes until it's either forced upon them or it gets tipped to the point of I need to do something to invoke change in my life. And
Mhm.
so it's interesting to play with because change is good, but there is growth within the change. And sometimes, and this is me right now, I don't want the growth. Like I want that stability. So it's kind of funny, but it's also, I still chose it regardless of the growth or not, because I do know that there's a bigger, something bigger that I can't foresee, that unknown piece that I am trusting in the universe to provide that for me. And it's still scary as hell at moments.
Mhm. Yeah, which is why the original title of Change Doesn't Have to Be Scary isn't right, because it is going to be scary, and that's not a reason to not do it. And our brains are set up to protect us. So I still get the pangs of like, oh, have I made the right decision? And then it's that, yes, I have, because of this, this, and this. And it's the reasoning with yourself. It is going to be scary. It's going to be different. And you will make it work and build it's the next step, isn't it? That's
Yes.
like, you want to hold on to what you've got at the moment because it's nice. And actually, it's time to move on. And we have to change. It's part of life.
When making the decision to move here, I had reached out to one of my dearest friends and had asked her, and I was not wanting to leave where I was living. Like, I loved it there. It took a lot for me to get there, and I was excited to be from there. And she was like, maybe. And she just gave me this to really be able to reflect on. She's like, maybe that chapter's closed, and maybe this is the next chapter for you. And I was like, kind of like stomping my feet, like, but no. And I had time to process this and really make that decision and choose that there was some validity to what she was saying, that it was a really great chapter of my life and a really good moment. And it had become complete. And now that I'm no longer there, it's almost there. It's, I would say, like a good 90%. I'm still waiting for some things to like complete it out completely, but it was a really good chapter. And at this moment, I'm still in that interim, as I think most people are in life, is there is that change and that process for people, that what you're going through is okay. Like, it's okay to be with the uncertainty emotions and doing a lot of breathing through it, because I feel my stress get raised at moments and I'm breathing to be like, it's okay to be stressed. It's okay that my feelings are valid and true. And there's a bigger picture here that I'm just not to that picture yet. I'm waiting for that picture to completely come in and not be fuzzy. Right now it's fuzzy.
Mhm. Yeah. So breathe, be in it, ask for help if you need help, get your support, and trust that on the other side of change is the life that you've always wanted.
Mhm.
The change is good.
Change is good. It's it's good, and it's challenging in the interim.
Yeah. Thank you for coming to another episode of The Power of Choosing.
Where today we talked all about change.